It's early.
Oh, dark 30.
That's our favorite time of day.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early.
Today, though, we gotta go to a warehouse in Norfolk to pick up some batteries.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Sean. Come along on our real-life adventures as we explore the world and boat life on our sailing catamaran Rome.
Now let's jump back into the episode and see what's going on. This is actually pretty exciting. We ordered these cells from China, and so we've been waiting for them for how long now?
I don't even know.
A really long time.
Since
because
late June.
Because you know what they say about the slow boat from China.
This was definitely the slow boat from China, but it took them a long time to get out of China. So we are in the car, and we're going for an hour and a half or so drive to pick up the batteries.
Can we stop for breakfast first?
Hell yeah.
Because I'm hungry.
Me too.
So I think this seems like a good time to explain what we're doing.
Batteries. So we decided to replace the batteries in the boat because we didn't have enough capacity. And I guess let's back up. Let's talk about mission profile. What do we want to do? So we got this great boat, this amazing adventure platform, and we want to go to faraway places. We want to explore. We want to be away from docks and services because that's where the coolest stuff is as far as we're concerned. To do that, you have to be able to carry your food. You have to be able to make your own water. You have to be really self-sufficient. We also don't want to burn a bunch of dinosaur juice, as some of our friends call it.
Right.
We're trying to stay away from burning fossil fuels. It's expensive to burn fossil fuels. Not just the cost of the fuel, but you've got maintenance on the engines. You've got the cost of the engines because they have a life expectancy, and all the stuff wears out. And so the less we have to do that, the better. Which gets back to we need more energy storage on the boat, more battery. When we talk about buying off-the-shelf batteries, to get very much power, you have to buy a lot of them because most of the time you're going to get 200, maybe 230 amp hour in a 12-volt package. Some manufacturers are building 24-volt packages now.
Are they not building 48s?
They're not building 48s. They don't exist.
Oh, I thought they did it. I thought you could get them from Victron or from...
No. So if I want to do 48-volt Victron, I've got to put multiple batteries together to do that.
Oh, so you'd have to get like two 24s and put them in series.
Yep.
Got it.
Exactly. And I think Victron only sells the 24-volt in 100 amp hour.
Oh.
And so it takes a lot of batteries to get there. And then you have the whole problem of, how do they fit? Because they are, they're standard sizes or near standard sizes, and they're not as densely built as they could be.
Right. And if we did that, then we'd have to take over a bunch of our space that we use for food storage right now.
Yes.
Which is underneath the settee.
And
I like my food storage.
And then we end up with cable complications because they're, going in lots of other places.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
So how are we managing getting more storage in the same space?
Yeah. So the way we're doing that is instead of buying batteries that are prepackaged, we ordered the battery cells. So the individual cells that are 3.2 volts each, and we will assemble them. And so we'll put 16 of them in series to get a 48 volt battery that is 230 amp hours. Our total cost on batteries is maybe $12,000, including all of the
fees and import duties and all that stuff.
Well, that and all of the components to put it together.
Oh,
all the battery management system components, everything. It'd be about $12,000 for 55 kilowatt hours of energy storage.
That's way better.
Yeah. All right, well, we're trying to figure out where we're going. 3800D is where it's supposed to be. I see C, but I don't see D. We think we're in the right area.
I don't know. I thought it was going to be bigger.
Yeah.
More doors.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Well, I think we found it.
Everything's so high. I have no idea how they're going to get these boxes to our car.
If you want, while I go process the paperwork, you can go next door.
Yeah, and beg them.
Like, hey,
can you help me out?
They're not busy. They usually bring their ramp before they're down.
They bring the ramp down? Okay.
I'll grab the party real quick and process your paperwork, and then I'll be right back.
These are high dock bays. They set up for full-size trailers. We have a Honda Element.
We have a little car.
And they don't have a ramp, and so we just got to figure out how to get stuff out of those.
Yeah. All right, well, hopefully the neighbors can help.
Here, sir.
And your pen, I'm not stealing it.
Have a good one, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Bro, who's going in?
This guy right here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that box off the top. That's okay. You clear still? Oh man, that's perfect. As long as you go slow, it should slide okay. All right, brother, I think that's good. Man, I really appreciate you. This helps us out a ton. All right, let's see if we got room in here for these batteries. Well,
Yeah, there's no way.
we could get them in there, but then we'd have no room to do anything else.
We're gonna need a little help to get this pallet out of here because, well, it's a pallet, it's too heavy. It also doesn't fit in the pod. Nuts. So we're gonna put it somewhere else.
Fortunately, they got a big yard here, and it can take everything that we need,
Right.
I hope.
Oh man.
It needs a little grease. What do you think? No, I'm not complaining. Try straight in there, yeah. You got it now.
Oh, it's perfect. That's really secured.
Wood crate with metal corners and edges. This is great. But you know, I guess I should expect that for shipping lithium cells across the ocean. Nobody wants any surprises in the box. I'm a little bit nervous.
Nervous?
Well, I mean, we've gone through so much to get these,
It's true.
right? And now,
Oh my God, they're tiny.
yeah.
What?
This is not at all what you expected, is it?
Not even remotely what I expected. They're itty bitty. Okay, that is so cute.
So 16 of these
Makes one 48
makes one 48 volt. Each cell has its factory ID tag with, I don't know what that says. Warning, be careful, attention. They also have a number on the top to identify the crate. There's a QR code, which is great.
That's so cool.
And then the serial number.
If you're enjoying this video, please give that like button a tap. We're just starting this project, so if you want to see more, think about subscribing to our channel. Subscribing is free, and it helps the channel grow by encouraging YouTube to share our videos with others who might like our content.
It's been, I don't know, a couple months since we picked up the batteries, and we've been testing and doing a lot with them. There are 80 of these guys, and this is my precious. This is one cell, and we have 80 of these. This is 230 amp hours at 3.2 volts. And so we put a bunch of these together to make a battery. We have a couple of devices here that are designed to charge, discharge, measure, and test, and help us log data on all these batteries so we can understand exactly what we have. Their nominal power is 3.2 volts and 230 amp hours, but that is never the case. Most of them are like 238 amp hours. And while we're targeting a voltage, a specific voltage, and we'll work toward that, the amount of energy they store is different in each of them. And so one of the things we're doing is we're cataloging every cell. So we do a full charge, a full discharge, and then a recharge to get them back up to where they're supposed to be so we're not leaving them sitting empty. And we log all the data along the way. What that shows us is which battery contains how much energy. And then when we put them together into groups, we match them. If I have a group of 16 of these together and they're all over the map in terms of how much energy they store, then they're all discharging at slightly different rates. And so the group of batteries isn't going to perform as well as it could if they were all more closely matched. And so that's what I'm doing, is we're measuring to figure out which ones are which. And of course there's a spreadsheet involved because I can't do anything without a spreadsheet. And then we'll, once finished, group them up and figure out which ones go together and start building these things out. Here's how we do this. Each of these cells has a positive and a negative terminal on it. And I'm going to do two at a time. Each of these boxes does one cell at a time. So we have 80 of them. Would take a long time if we were only doing one. It takes about 16 hours to do the full cycle on one of these. So having two of them running at the same time, that shortens it a lot. So we connect up our positive to the positive terminal. And we have two different clamps here. This one is measuring voltage. This one is passing current. It requires both of them. And yep, they're really close together. They're not quite touching, and they just clamp on like so. All right, so we've got positive connected. Before I connect the ground side, I'm going to turn this guy on so that it goes through all of its stuff before it has any voltage from the battery. So now I'll connect up the ground side, and we should have some voltage. I'm guessing around 3.2 something. So let's see what we get. There's the fan, and you see the screen changing, and that shows us the volts, the charge voltage on the top left, and on the top right we have the amps that we're putting in. The bottom left shows us our profile. What are we doing? We're charging right now. The PC means this is being controlled by the PC, and on the right shows us how much energy we've pumped into the battery so far. And on the screen here you can see the graph took off right away, and the blue line shows our voltage, the red line shows the amperage, and I expect the blue line to climb very slowly and the red line to hold steady until we hit 3.8 volts on the charge cycle, at which point it will very rapidly decrease the amperage until it hits 0, and then it will cut off and wait. So now we wait for about 16 hours for this to finish on these batteries. So the thing I'll point out for everybody who has never done this before, this is all Chinese. I just want to make a point of saying that yes, it's all Chinese. Frequently people say, oh, it's cheap Chinese crap. And we've done other conversations about this. We'll put a link up here to the dinghy that we imported from China that's absolutely bomber. The reality is a lot of great stuff is made in China. And in fact, almost all lithium batteries are made in China. The devices to test them are made in China. These are great. They are accurate, they work really well, the calibration works really well. So yeah, it's all Chinese and it's written in Chinese. And no, I don't read it. Google Translate, my best friend. Well, we finally finished testing all of the lithium cells. This is the last one. We've already put the charger testers in our storage. This is going into the crate that it was shipped in, and they'll sit for a while we get the space ready for them. Feels good to be making progress this forward.
Catch us next time on Sailing Rome as we rebed a couple of deck hatches. You might not believe it's going to take 5 months to complete this one small project.